All right, I want to talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder. They have filled the final NBA head coaching opening left. They have promoted assistant Mark Daigneault to replace Billy Donovan. The 35-year-old coached OKC's G League team for 5 seasons. He was an assistant to Donovan back when he was the head coach at Florida. Zach, what is your reaction to this hire?
I mean, there have been rumors that he was the heir apparent for a while now. I think this coaching search got a little complicated. Several other people had a chance, but he has a great reputation from his time in the G League and even before. And I do think it's a signal. I mean, we're going to talk about another signal shortly, but the Thunder are entering a deep rebuild. Let's have this young coach that's great at player development and maybe even game strategy too. Let's have him guide this young team full of draft picks. So I think it's a signal. Another one is, if we needed one, of where the Thunder are going now.
Well, I tell you what, to me, it's typical Sam Presti. Y'all have to realize, before Sam Presti got into basketball, he used to work at a golf club where he had to go pick up golf balls. So he's always looking for a hidden gem, and he's always looking to give someone an opportunity to shock the world. That's just how Sam Presti worked. But I talked to a lot of people in the organization, from Nick Collison, Nazir Muhammad, and everyone have high praise for this new coach. So if Sam Presti and everyone agree to it, I'm all in for it.
Yeah, I'd have to agree as well, because as Zach said, this is the ultimate sign of a rebuild. I was just looking, their key players, the 3 of them, outside of Steven Adams and Danilo Gallinari, who's a free agent, all of their 3 key players moving forward are under 22 years old. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Darius Baisley, and also Lou Dort. So I think this is another sign of a rebuild. And also, we forget that the Thunder low-key do rebuild pretty well. I mean, they drafted 3 MVPs in KD, Russ, and James Harden. So this is a process that they understand.
Yeah, as you guys mentioned, I don't know how many more signals we need from the Thunder, right? It's like if you've been struck by lightning, everybody should take the hint. And in fact, here is another one. We've been hearing.
Honey.
Exactly. We have been hearing that they are ready to move Chris Paul. And in fact, Brian Windhorst and Tim Bontemps reporting OKC's next move could not only involve CP3, but the Phoenix Suns. The 2 teams have gained traction in their discussions around the 10-time All-Star as Oklahoma City moves toward that rebuild. Signal. And Phoenix tries to build on their electric 8-0 run in the bubble. So, Perk, do you buy Chris Paul wanting to be a Sun, because I assume that he would give his blessing here, and having it be a good fit for CP?
Yes, I do. I think this will be a great move for the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Phoenix Suns and Chris Paul. Chris Paul going to the Phoenix Suns, I put them in the top 5 in the Western Conference. He will be the best thing for Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton. I think the sky's the limit for both of those guys, but you add a CP3 along with Monty Williams to that young ball club, and hey, I'm telling you, if you're a contender in the West, you better watch out for them, because Phoenix Suns will be making a lot of noise with that backcourt of Chris Paul, although he's going to be 36, and Devin Booker. Devin Booker is already a top shooting guard in this league, and you giving him a vet like Chris Paul to teach him the game, the ins and outs, he might lead the league in scoring.
Yeah, I'm kind of 50-50 on this, just because I can see how Phoenix would want to be all in, especially with Chris Paul adding him in, after the OKC experiment where he brought out the best in all of their young players. I can see that same moment that OKC had with their season. Now Phoenix taking that momentum with their win streak in the bubble. I can see that transition happening. We all saw Devin Booker has proved that he can create for himself, both on and off ball, so that he can, share the rock with CP3. I love this DeAndre Ayton idea of playing pick and roll, which gives me like baby Lob City vibes. Plus a number of guys like Kelly Oubre and Mikal Bridges, like CP3 can make their lives easier. I'm usually like a glass half full type of girl, but like I'm thinking on the other side, the only part that really, I come to question is CP3, I think he's 35 years old. So I just wonder if he cares to go to a contender where he can get a ring before everything's said and done, but to each their own,
Well, to that point, one thing Sam Presti has done when he's had to trade guys is he has taken into account their wishes, guys of this stature. So I don't think Chris Paul is going to be traded, given what he did for them last year, to anywhere where he's not comfortable going. Now, very few teams are guaranteed anything in the Western Conference next year. It is absolutely loaded. But you put Chris Paul on this team, and you put his shooting with Devin Booker shooting, and they're playing stretch fours around DeAndre Ayton, Phoenix is a problem. They are a really strong playoff contender. And to me, let's just say the trade is centered around Ricky Rubio and Kelly Oubre. Maybe you've determined that those guys aren't part of your long-term. Yeah, let's just say you've determined that those guys aren't part of your long-term future for whatever reason. Agree or disagree, that's a determination you've made. The only opportunity cost really is you have no more cap space this coming offseason, the next offseason, summer 2021, when you would have a lot. And then after that, Ayton's big deal kicks in, Bridges' big deal kicks in, so your cap situation is a little unclear. You might forfeit 2 summers of cap space and have none left on the horizon, but you know, who's signing in Phoenix? Maybe they just don't think they're going to get any of the big free agents those following 2 summers. So to me, if you conclude that kind of risk is low, the Suns are going to be decent to very good next year with Chris Paul if they get him.
And look, Chris has options too. As you said, Sam Presti tends to include guys of this stature when making this kind of trade. Phoenix is close to where his family is in LA. I don't think there may be a ring contender in the Western Conference, but they're definitely, if you added Chris Paul to that roster and activated Devin Booker, I agree with you, Perk. He could be in that scoring title conversation. So it would be a fun team to be around. And look, if he really, Chiney, wanted to go to a contender or bust, he could waive that player option for his final year, and then he would be very tradable. But I don't think he's going to do that because that is about $45 million, and I don't expect that.
Better not.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.